going to introduce, my main point here is to introduce the Florida National Guard historian, who many of you know already and have met, Allison Simpson. She's going to give you a little welcome to this historic building that we're in, St. Francis Barracks. Now, after Allison finishes, we're going to hear a cannon fire about 10:30, and the bugler will then play assembly, and that's the note for the reenactors who will start to assemble in formation, and for all of us, presuming the weather stays like this, to go out to the steps and form up on the steps of the barracks here, and then at 10:45, another cannon will fire. The bugler will play To the Colors, and the parade will start from here and go on down in front of us as we're standing in front of the barracks here. And then please fall in behind the parade. When you read that announcement, you'll find out that the townspeople joined in and followed on behind the very large military parade at the time. And we're all so happy to have her. So Al Simpson, the National Guard historian.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm so glad to see you here today, and my heart is overflowing. It's really a bittersweet tribute to Greg, so forgive me. I will say that for probably the first 3 years that I had this job, before people would say, "Hey, Allison," they would say, "How's Greg?" So Greg had a huge impression here in St. Augustine, here at St. Francis Barracks, with your group, with other groups in town. We have folks from MOA here, from West Point, Seminole War Foundation, and these are some extremely big boots to fill. But in talking with Greg and working with him for years, one of the things that was constant was that while of course we'll never be rich superstars as historians, he genuinely felt that what we did was very important. And just as an example of that, I visited Fort Eustis, Virginia a couple of weeks ago to attend the Conference of Army Historians, and while I was there, and I'm sorry that Bill Gruber isn't here because I wanted to tell him in person, but while I was there, the keynote speaker was a major general from the Army who used to be assigned to Southcom in Tampa at Fort McDill, and he told in his presentation that the most impactful experience that he had at his tenure in Tampa was going to a staff ride at the Dade battlefield. And he talked about what a great influence and how the parallels of 1835 to today were right there, and there were lessons learned that could be applied in today's Army. So what you do as living historians and interpreters and just volunteers is very important, and it's very far-reaching, and I want to thank all of you for being here and participating today. So with that, I'm going to conclude and just wanted to thank you again for all joining with us today, and let's hope that we beat the rain. Thanks again.
Ready? Yep. Fire. Whoa. That woke him up in the morning. Is that better?
Turning. Stop.
One. 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 Two. One. 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 Two. One. 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 Two. One. 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 Two. Five files right. Halt. One. Forward. Halt. One. One. One.
Have to move them more.
Reset. Order.
Good morning. I'm retired Army Colonel Howard McGillen. I also have the honor of serving right now as one of your Florida judges. We are standing here today at one of the high temples of our civic society, our national cemeteries. These cemeteries stand as a memorial to those that are resting here, but they also point to our future. We have some important civic words that are the founding documents of American history. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights to include among them life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We, the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union, do establish this Constitution. The words of Abraham Lincoln on this sign, that those who have fought here have thus far nobly advanced. Rather, for us, it is here to be dedicated to the great task remaining before us. All of those words speak to an unfinished task. Each one of us stands at our own place in history. Our friend Greg Moore was a great historian. He wrote about this place, and there are other historians that have written about other places like this. But each of us stands at our own place in history.
Fire! Freeze it! Home! Peace! 5 miles left. Home! One, 2. 1, 2. 1. 5 miles left. Halt! 1, 2. 5 mile left. Halt! All right, folks, that concludes the ceremony here. We're going to have a super afternoon. Just want to point out one or two things which I forgot. This is the first time we had a sailor, an 1840 sailor, march.